Welcome to Goat Island. I'm your host, the Big Kahuzzi, back again with another sports episode. It's time for some goat talk, and we're looking to the next 2 weeks. And by the way, before we get started, last week was my first week back in the gym in years, and we are already down more than 2 pounds in a week. Why? Because I can. That's why. Now, we've got some football to look forward to with the Reds getting that much closer to another title. We have the Stormers playing over in the United Rugby Championship. In combat sports, UFC 314 is this weekend, and there's still a lack of meaningful matches in boxing, which hopefully Uncle Dana will fix soon enough. And lastly, the weekend after next, we have the greatest stage of all, the Super Bowl of sports entertainment. The showcase of the immortals, WrestleMania. Liverpool continues to walk them down in the race to the title, but let's just be clear, when everyone else are laps behind and there's barely any laps left, it's not a race. It's just a matter of time. Liverpool will win the title again, and that's not prediction. That's a spoiler. The Reds have 2 upcoming fixtures in the next 14 days, starting at Anfield this Sunday against West Ham, and then going down to Leicester to face the club on enemy grounds. I'm calling it now. Liverpool will win both matches with a conservative but confident 1-point lead, and the winning score of either match will not exceed 3 points. In all honesty, guys, this isn't even a David and Goliath situation. This is a John Jones and a baby situation. In other words, there's no chance, no possibility, no way in this world that Liverpool will lose. It's just a matter of how much mercy they choose to show West Ham and Leicester. The GOAT club has only 1 defeat this season, but Leicester and West Ham alike both have more losses than wins and can't even crack the top 15. I mean, the fact that even United is ahead of them both says it all, doesn't it? Man United, we still don't like you, and you still suck. Over in the world of rugby, we're still months away from the All Blacks and Springboks returning to international action, with both Aotearoa and Safa coming out of hibernation at the beginning of July only. In club rugby, the GOAT local club from the GOAT city, the Stormers will face off against an Irish club that I can't, nor do I want to, pronounce the Saturday after next. And though the Irish rugby has risen to elite level, we know how they deal with high pressure situations when it matters. Womp womp, Stormers for the W. In Oceania Club Rugby, the NRL will see the Warriors face the Storm this Sunday. You already know who we're going with, up the Wise. Finally, in Super Rugby, the Blues are having a rough season, but they're still our GOATs. They have to deal with Moana, with the final boss of Super Rugby, Ardie Savia, this Saturday, and the following weekend, the Mighty Crusaders. We're pulling for the Blues to win at least one of these matches, most likely against Moana, but win, lose or draw, the Auckland club still has our undying support, and hopefully next season there's a turnaround for the team. Combat sports blesses us with another banger after the drought that started following Pereira's loss. Shama, the UFC brings us UFC 314 this weekend. Can Volk prove that Old Man Volk was just a skit and remind us of Alexander the Great? Or will Lopez finally find resolve for the absolute tear he's been on down at featherweight? This is an absolutely stacked card. Let's get straight into our GOAT picks for the main card. First off, we have Reyes versus Krylov at light heavyweight, and we're going with Krylov. Barely seen anything from him, but I've seen Reyes look like an absolute amateur since he beat John Jones. The nerve of this guy. Next up, we have an exciting featherweight bout with Yair facing Pitbull, and I'm backing the one that got away, Yair Rodriguez. His record, simply by the numbers, may be a little less impressive than Pitbull's. Here's the thing. This is Patricio's first UFC fight coming from Bellator, And while he was dominant and impressive down there, just ask Michael Chandler what happens when you get to the big leagues. Following that, we have another featherweight banger with the recently out of favor Thug Nasty Rice Mitchell having to fight Lord Silver, who definitely wants to give him more than a talking to. Their records are very similar with one distinct difference. Silver wins by knockout, and the Thug of social media wins by submission or decision. And Bryce, we both follow the same God. And it's for that reason that I want you to meet him again following this fight. So we're picking Silver for this one. Now on to the co-main event. We have the baddie up against Iron Chandler. More like aluminium Chandler though. Easy to manage, exciting and shiny, but very breakable. This lightweight matchup is something special. Mike always throws caution to the wind, even if he can't always get into gear early enough. And Paddy brings the energy and charisma consistently. This is a must win for Chandler, as he's already lost 100% more than he's won in the UFC. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. We're going with the Scouser, because Scousers don't get knocked out. And that's about all Chandler tries to do when he's not struggling to survive in the cage. Locking in Paddy in 4 by submission. It's going to be a sad day to be a Michael Chandler fan. But then again, it's not every day. Finally, the main event for the vacant featherweight title. The man from the land where men blunder, and the Brazilian with the cut my life into pieces haircut. Now, Diego has had a crazy 2 years since his last loss. High level of activity with 5 dominant wins in less than 24 months. However, let's not forget that Volk has only fought title fights for more than 5 years straight. Will Volk cook Lopez, or will the Brazilian prove that he can beat the ex-champion worse than the bullies used to beat on him for his stupid haircut? Now Lopez has all the momentum and the dominant activity for the last 2 years, but half a decade in title fights is crazy business. And yes, he's had 3 losses in the last 2 years, but let's remember one thing. His last loss and fight with Ilya was the first time he lost at featherweight ever. This is not the easiest fight to call, but I just went to the kitchen and Alexander the Great was busy cooking. So the GOAT pick is the former champion. It's a 5-rounder, and I'd say he's got 2 paths to victory, either on points with a unanimous decision or TKO inside 3 rounds. I just think that with all that bold rage he's got inside him, is finally going to get a release with Lopez. Because how can you want to flaunt such long hair in front of Volk like that? And then still have the audacity for it to not even look good. Like, Diego, you're asking for it, my guy. Volk in 3 with him beating the emo mullet off of Lopez by TKO stoppage. Old man Volk is done. Alexander the Great is back and new. Lastly, how can we be this close to the greatest night of the year for sports and entertainment and not talk about WrestleMania? Now, it's just so much to unpack and pick for WrestleMania 41 in Vegas, but this is GOAT Island, so we're just going to focus on the greatest matches set for the massive 2-night event. The only problem is WWE Universe has been letting Triple H cook, and Mr. Levesque has prepared a damn buffet, making it harder to spot the difference between undercard, midcard, and main event matches, because across the board WWE has just been serving up masterpieces. Also, Tony, change the name, my guy. It's not AEW. Change that shit to AEL, because TKO is making sure you're getting absolutely 0 W's, boss man. The final cards for both nights have yet to be confirmed, but we do have confirmation for the main events for both nights, which we will get to last. The singles titles matches for the event that have that GOAT aura to them, other than the main events, are the Ring General versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title, Tuffy Time versus Ric Flair's daughter for the WWE Women's title, and LA Knight versus the Samoan Werewolf Fatu for the United States title. Let's build our way up. Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline 2.0 and part of wrestling's only real royal family, the Great Samoan Dynasty. Tension has been building between the high-flying Badman and the bootleg Samoan Suge Knight, and it seems as though over the past year the slow build for Jacob is finally reaching its boiling point. And this would be the perfect step up for the Werewolf by holding a significant title, having showcased his insane in-ring and behind-the-mic ability. Now, there is a chance that they'll have Solo interfere in this match to help his family and in the end cost them the match. But I just think they've already done this, and to do it again with no higher stakes just wouldn't make sense. On the other side of things, LA Knight has been having back and forth with Jacob for a while now, and it's undeniable that the two have chemistry. I think LA Knight would definitely hurt less with a loss, whereas Jacob, on the other hand, needs it. LA Knight has proven he's adaptable, and there are other titles to go for, as well as more character that he can develop coming off of back-to-back US title runs, whereas Fatu is in his first year in the WWE, and to derail the hype train and momentum he's established and earned would simply set his character back significantly. Jacob Fatu to win the US title, clean via pinfall, with bloodline altercation probably taking place as he celebrates. Nevertheless, and new. Next we have Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. At first, this build-up was quite indecisive, with Charlotte showing signs of both a heel and a babyface, which was confusing, given that Tiffy was a heel and thriving in that light, and it wasn't clear whether a face turn would be best for her right now. However, this past SmackDown, Flair tried to get a word out, but the crowd wasn't having it at all. And at the same time, Stratton reminded Charlotte exactly why it's Tiffy time, with the crowd getting behind with so much love that they might as well have been Ludwig Kaiser himself. So with Tiffany's successful face turn, the modern legend has no choice but to turn heel fully, which is when she's at her best. All things considered, Charlotte will always be Charlotte, but it is indeed Tiffy time. So this match will not only establish Tiffany as one of the greats, but legitimize her title run. We're going with Tiffy to win clean via pinfall after an epic match. Let's go Barbie. And still. Then we have the former right-hand man taking on Gunther. And man, I'm not even going to get into the build-up of this match. Gunther has established himself as a massive heel and a dominant heavyweight title run, as followed his dominant run with the Intercontinental title. But Jay, man, this feels bigger than wrestling. And I mean, he won the Intercontinental title only to drop it less than a month later. He went to Saturday night's main event for the same title against the same opponent, just to lose earlier this year to Gunther. Yeet. And picked Gunther to avenge his loss and prove he's worthy of that champ status. I'm expecting an all-out war. When the dust settles, Jey Uso will be walking out of WrestleMania the World Heavyweight Champion. If Jey doesn't get the title, we riot. Because damn it, he deserves it. And new. Yeet. Now, we have the two main events to still call, but these matches deserve far more time. So we'll unpack them fully next week when we cover news in sports. I mean, these two right here. Let's go. We've got Stardust being challenged for the WWE Championship by the 16-time champion, Mr. Big Match John. And seriously, there's just so much to appreciate here, with Cena siding with The Rock and having the heel turn of the century that no one could see coming, and babyface Cody making everyone wait for him to go full Homelander. This is the rapper's final WrestleMania appearance, and it's the Nightmare's first time walking into WrestleMania as WWE champion. I won't say too much now, but who do we pick? Well, the current champ was never the one, because we're the ones. And in this match, we're not going for the one. We're going for 17, damn it. Cena's finally with the shits, and that means that this year he's coming with the dubs. And new. Last, but definitely not least, at this point we can't even call it a match because the Sopranos ain't got shit on this storyline. The Tribal Chief versus Seth frickin' Rollins versus the best in the world. Now, we acknowledge the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, and Joe should be back in the title conversation. But first, he's got to handle some business. Seth, the workhorse of WWE for years now, and the shield of the company, CM Punk, finally getting to main event WrestleMania after having to go through so much, including leaving the sport for years, the company for 10, and even going over to that other company first. The level of drama involved in this matchup is evident in the fact that this will close the show without even needing a championship title involved. This triple threat match has almost no real stakes, and yet, whatever the outcome will have massive impact in the next year of WWE. Truly a Pandora's box worth of tension has been released leading up to this match, and we'll dig deeper into that next week. But Roman Reigns, Island acknowledges you. Seth frickin' Rollins, you deserve more. Just not now. CM Punk, you've given the Tribal Chief the same heartbroken feeling you had at the end of your first UFC fight. And Paul Heyman, you bitch. In terms of dynamics, it really is giving high school love triangles with the history of an almost divorced married couple, with the head of the table never forgetting the heartbreak Seth caused. But even though he tries to forget Rollins, the visionary is like the toxic ex that always comes back every time they see you're doing better again. And then there's Paulie siding with his side piece Punk, with barely a care in the world for the happy home he's just broken. Unfortunately, as far as calling the match goes, I think this is more of a setup than a resolve. And that being said, though, I want the OTC to win. It doesn't matter what I want. I think ultimately it's clobbering time, and the Second City Saint is going to be eating donuts in celebration with Heyman Hustle after the match. But I will say this. As far as the architect goes, The Rock still has 2 more spots to fill. And for our GOAT, he said once, the moment Paul Heyman is no longer my wise man is the moment I stop being the Tribal Chief. And we look forward to who he turns into following this match. Please, for the love of God, make them pay and make them acknowledge you. Sports will return to Goat Island, same time next week. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe for more. And if you didn't, well, Thanks for hating. We couldn't be here without you. Well, we could, but whether you like it or not, Goat Island is here to stay. This is the Big Kahuzzi, and from Goat Island, we'll check you again.